What's up guys, kicksbyamir here. Welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning into today's video. It's been a long time since I've uploaded, and I know I said before that I'm gonna be more consistent on YouTube and stuff, but actually now I have a lot more videos planned. I actually have a pair of shoes right here for a future video where I'm gonna be making a pair of Nike Air Force Ones for an NFL player. Trying to do a lot more shoes for athletes and celebrities and stuff, so hopefully we can make that like a little series in the future. But yeah, that pair of shoes is going to be in a future video. Hoping to make the shoes next week, maybe a video 2 weeks from now, but I'm going to be trying to upload every week, so stay tuned for that. But today's video, I'm going to be giving some tips and tricks. Now that I've finally graduated college, as I said in a previous video, I graduated back in June. So now I'm going to kind of share a little bit of thoughts on my college experience, but a little bit of tips and tricks for those people going into college, or maybe you're watching this and you're about to start your first year of college. Here's a couple tips and things that I kind of learned after the fact and maybe wish I did more of when I was a freshman. So we got 7 things. Let's get into the video. Also, really quickly, if y'all could subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also comment which one of these you relate to most if you already finished college, and if you're going into college, maybe comment back after you've kind of gone through the start of college and let me know which one of these was the most helpful, or if you want to see more videos related to college, or maybe my college specifically, which is UCSD. Let's get it. So the first thing that I have written down is to be on good terms with your roommates. So a lot of my friends, personally first year, I did not have a roommate. I had my own room, but we had like a suite style of living. So there was 10 of us in this little like quadrant, and 2 of those rooms were triples, and then the other 4 rooms were singles. So I was in one of the singles, luckily. So it was really nice. I didn't have to share and stuff, but being on good terms with your roommates, I think, was something that was super important to my college experience. Me and my other roommates were all like, not necessarily really close, but a lot of us were really close with one another, and we were like some of our best friends at the school were in that hall, or like in that suite, and we were friends for the next 4 years. And I think a lot of stories from friends and other people that I've heard throughout my 4 years is that they have a hard time with their roommates. So just making sure that you have like open and honest and like also clear communication with your roommates. So a lot of people might like to go to bed early. Some people might want to go to bed late. So just establishing some rules and stuff between you that you can both follow respectfully, I think that's really good. But yeah, you don't want to be on bad terms with your roommates, because those people you're going to have to see pretty much every day for the entire year. So you might not want to room with them in the future and whatnot, but as long as you can get through the year and it's civil and you guys are okay with being able to live together, I think that's a plus. So I would say that's my number one most important thing, is to make sure you and your roommates are on the same page and that you are on good terms all the time. All right, so the second thing that I have is that I made it a point a little bit to share and connect with people on social media. I would say specifically when you meet a new person, make sure you either like get their contact info or just get them on some sort of social media. So for me, I went into business, so it's really important now that I have those connections of people that I met first year, second year, and so on. So I wish I did more of that, and now it's easier to like go back and do that, but I wish I had that from the beginning. A lot of times when you make a connection with someone and you have that connection on social media, you'll kind of get to know them more, I guess, without actually like hanging out with them or talking to them. And that will like kind of subconsciously, I guess, bring you closer to that person. So when you see someone around campus, you'll actually remember your first interaction with them and like exchanging that social media. And I think that's a really important thing to acknowledge, because if you get to meet more people, they don't have to necessarily be your friends, but just making that impact of like getting their contact info, staying connected with them, could be useful later on, and maybe getting a connection for a job, or just like when you go to an event and you see your friend, you have someone to hang out with, and that kind of thing. So I would definitely say it's really important to make it really important for you or whoever's watching this when they go to college, to exchange contact info and make sure they build connections with people when they go to college. That's definitely another important rule. That's number 2. All right, and for number 3, this one's not personally that I had a problem with, but I know a lot of people did. When you go to college and you're living there probably a couple days before, I would definitely say, since you have your schedule, plan out your walk to your classes or what your routine might be like. So for me, my first quarter, I had a class like in the morning, then I had a class in the afternoon, then I had a class later on at night. So I had like these random like 1 to 2 hour blocks, and I didn't know what I was going to do in between. So it ended up being like me going to play basketball every day, like at the lunchtime in between my first and second class. And then second and third class, I'd kind of read up on stuff from the first and second class. So I would maybe fall into some sort of routine like that, but I think it's important to walk to your classes before. So when you go to the class on the first day, you actually know where it is. If you know where the building is and that kind of thing, you're probably fine. But some people are not as great as with directions and stuff. So if you want to have to like walk around campus, so you know like, okay, my class at 8 a.m. is here, my class at 10 a.m. is here. How am I going to get from there to there? So maybe plan that out so you're not like panicking and it's chaotic the day of. So especially because there's going to be a lot more people when classes start, and once classes come out, it's usually going to be like a massive flurry of people walking. So definitely plan that out. That's my third tip. My fourth tip is to join a club. For me, first year, I didn't join anything other than like the South Asian student club, and that was really fun for me. I wish I was more involved with it looking back at the end of the year, because the end of the year had more events and stuff, and I wish I went to more of the events at the beginning of the year, but thankfully in like my end of second year, beginning of third year, I joined this club called Camp Kesem. So I talked about it in a previous video, and I went to a summer camp basically that helps support kids through and beyond their parents' cancer. I had the time of my life in that organization this past year, my senior year, and that is where I met some of my closest friends from the year and like in college now. So I really recommend joining a club. For me, I wish I was in this club first year, just because you feel more connected to people. Plus, it's like not an awkward thing once you meet people when they're also first years. So like, if you're a first year and you go to a club event and you meet another first year, it's likely going to be like you both are kind of a little awkward. You're shy because you haven't gone to anything like that, unless power to you if you're able to muster through that. But you have common ground in the sense that like you're not sure if you belong, so you can make more friends and stuff. So I would recommend joining a club. For me, I really enjoyed being in Camp Kesem. I recommend if it's at your school, definitely join it. A lot of the people in it are like good students, good people, and they also know how to have fun when it comes to doing stuff like socially. Like for us, we had a lot of like beach days or like hangouts where I like to play basketball, and I found a lot of people in that organization that also like to play basketball. So we'd play every week my senior year. So that was kind of a fun thing that stemmed from me joining a club, and it allowed me to have my best social outlet at college was definitely through Camp Kesem. So I'd recommend joining a club. All right, so my fifth thing, I have a little list written here, but my fifth thing is don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. So when school first starts, you're gonna have moved in, you're gonna have roommates or like suite mates or hall mates, whatever. Introduce yourself to them, kind of talking about how I said the social media thing. But this one, instead of like introducing yourself to them, to get out of your comfort zone, I would say if there's gonna be a lot of events that they have in like your welcome week or week of welcome, whatever it's called. Go to those events. Take the people that you live with in your hall, like suggest it to them saying, hey, maybe we should go to this. You can meet more people. And I think that was something that I definitely have some of my fondest memories of first year. I went with my roommates. We had this thing called the glow in the dark games. We went to that. One of my roommates like broke his glasses. It was like the biggest meme of the year because he tripped over nothing. And one time he also ran straight into another person because it's like dark and you're just wearing like a glow in the dark like bracelet. But games like that, events like that, not only get you to be closer with the people that you went to them with, but you'll start seeing familiar people and familiar faces at those events. And that is really cool as well because you kind of like build a connection or friendship with them just from talking to them and interacting with them at those events. So definitely push yourself to go out of your comfort zone and attend those events, and also introduce yourself to other people at those events so you can make more connections, but in the sense of not only connections, but you're meeting more people, having a better time. And I think that that's one of the best things that I did at college. All right, so number 6, I know a lot of people get homesick when they go to college, especially if they're moving away. For me, thankfully, college wasn't too far away. It was only about an hour and a half drive from my house, but I didn't have a car first or second year, and third year was during COVID, so I was just at home. But because I didn't have a car, I'd have to train home, and at the beginning of the year, I did come home a lot, but towards the end of the year, I slowly started coming home less. And I think in spring quarter, I didn't think I came home at all my first year. But at the beginning of the year, I was definitely coming home a lot. So if you miss home, there's a lot of things you could do. A lot of times it's just picking up the phone and calling someone at home. One thing I did is I made like a little post on Instagram and said like, hey, like, just because I'm going away to college now, if anyone wants to be a part of like this list of people that I'll draw from, like, and I'll send you a text and like check up in with you at some point during the quarter, like message me. And I ended up getting like a few people to message back, and it's something I did like throughout the year. So anytime I felt homesick, I like wrote everyone's name down who said they wanted to be a part of it. I pulled the name out, saw the person's name. So say it was one of my friends, and it was Greg. Greg's one of my good friends, and I saw his name, so I would send him a text saying like, how are you? Check in with him, talk to him about my school, maybe even talk to him on the phone. So I think that's a great way to connect with people from like high school and from home. It doesn't have to be people from your school. It could be your brother, your cousin, your sister, like I almost said sister, your parents. Like it could be anyone, as long as they're down to converse with you. It could be your grandparents. But yeah, that was a good way for me to stay in touch with home, especially later on in the year when I started going home less. Yeah, that's my sixth one. Let's go to the last one. All right, so my last one, my seventh tip. For me personally, I did not get to do enough of this, and that's why I'm putting this on this list. This is one of the things that I did a lot more senior year, was exploring the area off campus. So for me, I was in UC San Diego, so that's the La Jolla area. Thankfully, last year, like my final year, which is this past year, getting to go back to school and being in person and living off campus, I definitely explored off campus way more than I was my first and second year because I didn't have a car. But I kind of used the not having a car as an excuse because a lot of people did go out before because you do have like a bus pass at my school. If you have a bus pass or some sort of transportation to get you out of your college and like go visit the surrounding area, do that as much as you can first year, second year. So when you're third year and fourth year, like how I was, you have places to go, you have people to go with and all that kind of stuff. Thankfully I had a lot of like friends to go with to these places, but we didn't go to enough places first and second year to where like we were hearing about new places from friends, but we never ended up getting to go because there's so many places around. And you'll get to find your spots, whether it's like going to a beach or like some restaurant or some mall to walk around at, but definitely explore the area off campus. That is something I cannot harp on enough because you have to explore those areas usually with someone or with people. So when you get to explore those areas with your friends, you're also just making more memories and kind of contributing to your college experience overall. With that said, you don't have to take any of this advice. This is just my personal experience and stuff that I kind of learned throughout my college experience. If you want to ask me any questions about college now that I'm finished with it, in the description I have my Instagram link below, which I think I do. You can send me a message on there. I'll always respond on Instagram. But yeah, I think it's really important to kind of follow those things or just not make it a point, but just go through them and keep those in mind as you're going through your college experience, like being on good terms with your roommates, sharing your social media and your contact info, walk around campus and like check your classes before the first day, join a club. Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. That it might be the biggest one along with the roommate thing. And then things to do when you miss home. And then again, explore the area off campus. Just want to say thank you guys for watching today. It's been a while since I've uploaded, I know, and I just want to really, really thank you guys for watching. If you guys could like the video, subscribe, again, I would appreciate it. You don't have to, but if you did like it and you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments because I really do want to make more videos about my college experience because I had a great time this past year at school, and I want to share that with you, especially if you're at UC San Diego and you want tips of where to go eat, where to go hang out, like places to go and things to explore. So again, if you want to know any of that, let me know in the comments and I will be making more videos like that. Again, at the beginning of the video, I talked about making a pair of custom sneakers for an NFL player. So stay tuned to that video in a couple weeks and I will be uploading a lot more in the future. So again, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. So the first thing that I have written down is to be on good terms with your roommates. So a lot of my friends, personally, first year, I did not have a roommate. I had my own room, but we had like a suite style of living. So there was 10 of us in this little like quadrant, and 2 of those rooms were triples, and then the other 4 rooms were singles. So I was in one of the singles, luckily. So it was really nice. I didn't have to share and stuff. But being on good terms with your roommates, I think, was something that was super important to my college experience. Me and my other roommates were all like not necessarily really close, but a lot of us were really close with one another, and we were like some of our best friends at the school were in that hall or like in that suite, and we were friends for the next 4 years. And I think a lot of stories from friends and other people that I've heard throughout my 4 years is that they have a hard time with their roommates. So just making sure that you have like open and honest and like also clear communication with your roommates. So a lot of people might like to go to bed early. Some people might want to go to bed late. So just establishing some rules and stuff between you that you can both follow respectfully, I think that's really good. But yeah, you don't want to be on bad terms with your roommates, because those people you're going to have to see pretty much every day for the entire year. So you might not want to room with them in the future and whatnot, but as long as you can get through the year and it's civil and you guys are okay with being able to live together, I think that's a plus. So I would say that's my number one most important thing, is to make sure you and your roommates are on the same page and that you are on good terms all the time.